Introduction to the wave principle. In the 1930s, R.N. Elliott discovered the market price movements adhere to a certain pattern composed of what he called waves. He called the pattern's characteristics the wave principle. Every wave has a starting point and ending point in price and time. The pattern is continuous in that the end of one wave marks the beginning of the next wave. The basic pattern consists of 5 individual waves that are linked together and achieve progress as market prices move up or down. This 5-wave sequence, labeled with numbers 1 through 5, is called a motive wave because it propels the market in the direction of the main trend. Subwaves 1, 3, and 5 are also motive waves. Subwaves 2 and 4 are called corrective waves because they interrupt the main trend and travel in the opposite direction. So you guys, definitely write some of these rules down. You don't have to write everything down, but there's key points. I do talk about them lots on my channel, but write down the kind of key points, and these are a couple of them here. So 2 Elliott Wave rules govern motive wave. So wave 2 always retraces less than 100% of wave 1, and wave 3 can never be the shortest motive wave, although it does not have to be the longest. So I say this a lot on my channel as well, as wave 3 is often the longest but never the shortest. It's just a good rule to kind of dig into your head. So after a 5-wave sequence is complete, the corrective waves begins. The corrective wave partially retraces the progress made by the motive wave. It follows a 3-wave sequence or a specific combination of 3-wave structures. Its waves are labeled using letters, for example, A, B, and C. All waves are part of other waves at larger degree. They are also divisible into waves at lower degree, as shown in figure A3. Motive and corrective waves can move up or down. A number of rules and guidelines apply to wave formations. Guidelines differ from hard and fast rules in that they describe what is most likely to occur, even though it may not always occur. So I talk about that a lot on my channel as well, you guys. I'm very much into probable plays. It doesn't mean that they always have to happen, but there is a certain set of plays that I like to go heavier on, and having said that, they don't always have to happen, right? So we're just gonna we'll do to the bottom of this page, and I just want to show you guys this, and I wanted to go over these first 3 pages because this is exactly, so you see there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and our A, B, C, right? And this is exactly how I've got it lined up on our Bitcoin chart. We're on a 4-hour. It's nice and easy, you guys. I like to play, again, these kind of easier to see patterns on the Elliott Wave on a bigger time frame. Once you start, especially on Bitcoin, getting into the smaller time frame, especially with leverage and the wicks and the market makers, and it can really, really mess you guys up. It can mess me up, I know for sure. So motive waves. The 2 types of motive waves are impulse and diagonal. So the impulse wave, which is the strongest form of motive wave, follows these 3 rules. 1, wave 2 never moves beyond the start of wave 1. In other words, it always retraces less than 100% of wave 1. 2, wave 3 is never the shortest motive subwave, but it does not have to be the longest. Wave 4 never enters the price territory of wave 1. Add to these rules 1 strong guideline. Wave 4 should not enter the price territory of wave 2. The rules are crucial to real-time application. In figure A4, the first wave count is incorrect because the end of wave 4 enters the price territory of wave 1. The second wave count is incorrect because wave 3 is the shortest motive wave. The third wave count correctly displays the first 3 subdivisions of wave 3. The next wave count is correct because even though wave 3 is not the longest motive wave, it is also not the shortest one. The last wave count is incorrect because wave 2 here retraces more than 100% of wave 1. In an impulse wave, waves 1 and 5 are always motive waves. That is either impulse or diagonal, while 3 is always an impulse wave. Waves 2 and 4 are always corrective waves. Therefore, we can call an impulse wave a 5-3-5-3-5 structure. I'm not going to get into extensions. I think we'll get into extensions tomorrow. I know there was a guy on the YouTube channel asking about extensions and how to use the fib retrace on them. So we'll start moving into that tomorrow. But do you guys see what they're talking about here? So this is incorrect. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4. So our wave 4 came into wave 1 territory, so incorrect. What's this one? Incorrect. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our wave 3 is the shortest wave. We cannot have that. So that is incorrect count. So correct counting, we got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So the reason that this is correct, if you guys are getting confused on this, so this is 1, 2, and these are subwaves of our bigger wave 3, right? So, oh, this one here. So these are subwaves of our bigger wave 3, right? So we got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be the whole 3. And another correct counting is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. The incorrect, and the reason this is incorrect is because 2 retraces past the start of wave 1. You can't retrace more than 100%. So let's just get this. Let's just do this a little bit right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you guys, let's go over a couple other rules. And I know everybody who's been following along this channel knows I go over this stuff a lot. So bear with me, guys, who've been following around for a while. But to anybody who's new, I just want to get everybody on the same page. So first thing we're going to talk about is, so we line this up. So 4 does not correct past into wave 1 territory. Our wave 3 is not the shortest wave. Next thing we're going to talk about, you guys, is we're going to talk about fib retracement. So when we're taking our fib retracement, we always want to make sure we have the correct spot at the beginning of our fib retracement. And you guys, we're always taking from left to right. On fib retracement, always from left to right. And same as if we're going to go from the top, we're still going from left to right. So when we're using our fib retracement, we always want to go from the bottom of wave 1 to the top of wave 1. And on a 2 corrective, we're usually, for the most part, looking for a deeper correction. So wave 2 is quite often anywhere between the 0.5 and the 0.618. And when we have that, you guys, it's usually kind of like a sharper correction. And with a wave 4 correction, lots of the times it'll be more horizontal, like more of a sideways correction, right? So if you see the opposite can happen as well, whereas this is a little bit lesser and more sideways of a correction. And then the opposite will happen for wave 4. It'll be a deeper and quicker correction. So these are just good rules to start memorizing and start writing down. So the next thing we want to do is, when we're taking our fib retracement for our third wave, we're going to start from the bottom of 2 and we're going to go to the top of 3. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Probably looking for, you know, a sideways move for number 4, probably to come around the 0.382, anywhere between the 0.382 and the 0.5 if we had that deep retrace on the number 2 wave. So what else do we want to talk about? We want to bring this ABC up in here as well. And you guys, in each of these is an ABC. A, B, C. And then in each of these are subwaves as well, right? Which the same rules apply to in all of these. Now, the thing with an ABC correction after our whole structure is we can have a few different things on here. And this is where it can get complicated and can get confusing, because even on this, it's hard to tell with the A wave if we're going to have 3 or 5, because this A wave can either have 3 waves or 5 waves. And so it can be hard to tell when we're going to get our bounce for our B. So this is the primo spot to be looking for a short position. And also C for a long position, the bottom of C. And that's what I was talking about on this move over here, why this B lined up perfect, because it's this exact play that we're playing right here. And we're looking for the 5 waves down on this C wave. So A can have 3, or 5. And this B wave typically always has 3 waves. So there you guys have that. There's that main kind of structure. That's basically exactly like I was talking about right in here with this. And you guys, once you start learning all this stuff and learn how to use the fib retracement and everything like that, hand in hand, it works real nice. So now talking about fib retracement again. So we did our 1 and our 3. Now for our 5, guys, we don't want to be taking from the 4 to the 5. What we want to be doing is taking from the bottom of 1 for the whole structure, right? And again, I love this golden pocket range because the golden pocket has always treated me super, super well for banger trades. So I'll look to ladder in positions anywhere from the 50 or the 0.5 down to the 0.618. And the golden pocket actually is from the 0.618 to the 0.65, right? So it's a pretty good point to make to look for a C wave to finish between the 0.5 and the 0.618 of the whole structure. And as well, we'll typically probably see our A wave hit a 0.382, the B wave correction, and then the C wave for a 0.5 to 0.618. So you can also see, like, if you get a shallower A up here, right, maybe you're going to move your C wave up a little bit since this was a little bit more shallow. But this is just like a typical scenario for you guys to remember. And it looks like Bitcoin is playing out with this exactly right now. So that's just what I wanted to share with you guys. What I'm looking at right now, I'm short, and let's line up a few other things here. Now that we've got our little Elliott Wave lesson for the day over with, we're going to take, just like I just said right there, we're going to take our fib retracement from our whole structure here. So with this, I wasn't sure if this to me is looking like just like a 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So we got a 3, 3, and now we're looking for 5 down, right? Let's get rid of that. Oh, I thought I had my chain on there. So golden pocket, where are we at on this whole structure? The golden pocket is basically 5,200 area. So anywhere from the 0.5 down, but you guys, there's lots of support down in this area right at the golden pocket because I always want to line up my fib retrace levels with other support and resistance areas. What's the next thing that I want to look at? So the thing with an ABC, you guys, is lots of people will trade. So if I'm calling this A, this B, and looking for a C, let me get rid of this fib retracement here. What other people will do is look for an extension, and they'll look for an extension of a 1.618 from the A wave. So if we're calling this A, people are going to look for a 1.618. Basically, it's just it does hit quite often. The C wave hitting the 1.618 of the A to the B, right? So we're taking our extension from the top of A to the bottom to the top of B, and we look for a 1.618. What does that line up with? I mean, that lines up with quite a bit of other support down in this area. This was our golden pocket zone. So you guys, you see here, we want to take everything together and kind of try to find our targets. The other thing that we can do now is I can do the same thing with my C wave here. Since, look, I've started for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I can take my fib extension now, and I can go for, assuming that this has been the top already on this little correction here. I'm going to look for a 1-to-1 for a 3 wave, which would be about 6,200, and then a 1.618 for a 5 wave is potential. There's a few other possibilities in there. I'm not going to get into them too much. But I see that there's lots of confluence down in this area here, lots of support down in this whole range in here. So this whole area in here around the 6K seems like a pretty probable area for me to want to take profits on my short. You know, I got to have some set of rules in. You know, if once we continue to break down, if we break above, then I'll look to take profits. Not as big of profits as I could have had, but I'm looking for this bigger move down to about the 6K range. So I think that's all I got for you guys today.